Hello and welcome back to Cross Blitz. Today I'll be doing another daily run. So I've already taken a peek yesterday at the modifiers and the champ. And it's gonna be an interesting one. So let me just quit the current run right here. Suspiciously long loading time. So we are playing with Res, which is kind of like a spell-focused deck, and we have Avid Traveler Mask, landmarks choices don't require trait requirements. So the thing we were doing yesterday with picking aggressive minions for discounts and all that, that's not going to be necessary. We can just always pick the best option. Sorry, at every event. Starting health plus 10 shouldn't matter that much. Health doesn't really matter unless you really have like some big health debuff and can't take any damage basically. But yeah, what I saw yesterday is Sacrificial Mask. After each battle, remove all copies of a card in your deck with the most copies. So here we are constantly gonna remove cards, which is gonna make it hard to build a deck, especially like low-cost cards, which you will usually have the most copies of. I do have a plan for that. I hope that the map and the RNG will allow for it, but there is a specific card I want to build around with that mask in mind. But yeah, pretty interesting mask. I have not seen that one before. I'm assuming that it must have been added in the latest update. So yeah, let's see how we can deal with that. On the one hand, we will have a very thin deck, so if we have one specific card that kind of just wins the game, then that'll be good. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty tricky to build something consistent because your deck is just gonna implode over the course of the run. Our starting deck is gonna be Regis Ribbit, buff Draconic and Pyro damage. This character mostly deals Draconic damage. Immortal Spirit. Rifts, that's an effect that triggers when you play a spell. Scale your Draconic damage and add a Serpent Song in your hand, which is a spell that deals Draconic damage. 1 damage for 2 mana, so pretty bad on its base, but this character is sort of built around scaling Draconic damage as much as possible. So that can turn into a pretty powerful card later on. And Encore, add 3 Serpent Songs to your hand, reduce the cost of all Serpent Songs in your hand by 1. So you are spending 4 mana to get a 3 mana discount at its base. But you also generate a bunch of cards, and if you have other Serpent Songs, it's gonna reduce their costs as well. And then, of course, the hero, Infinite Rift, so this can trigger with like several times as much as you have spells, basically, and a Serpent Song to your hand. So this sort of the idea is that eventually you will play this on 5, and then on 6 you can like play a bunch of Serpent Songs, and those Serpent Songs generate even more Serpent Songs. And ideally you're gonna combine this with this ultimate, and playing 8 spells, you can target the enemy hero. So play this, or like scale up your Serpent Songs with these and other cards, then play this on 5, hopefully have enough to play the ultimate next turn, and then try to play a bunch of serpent songs to kill the enemy hero. Not my favorite starter deck for res. I much prefer this here. Stellar's just a really good card with some lifesteal, and there is this Concert Craze with just scales draconic damage without a requirement, unlike Himhal Spirit, which you have to combo with another spell and it might die. Like if you play it on turn 2, it might get removed, so you might have to wait until turn 3 or 4 to draw it with a spell and also have the mana to play it. And then Power Chord, another lifesteal spell that has just some higher base damage than Serpent Song. You can add Serpent Song immediately. You will have to find those throughout the run, but yeah. Also, Riot Rocker I like for adding more Serpent Songs that are cheaper, but again, the starter deck isn't really gonna matter because it's just gonna delete itself. So yeah, let's look at relic bans and trinket bans. I am gonna unban the Brilliant Elixir. On combat stuff, evolve a random minion. Evolve is an effect that makes your minions into more expensive ones and enemy minions into less expensive ones. So usually it buffs your minions and debuffs enemy minions. However, it can break apart certain synergies if it involves one of your engine pieces. It might also make your minions weaker, actually, because it doesn't preserve any buffs you give to your minions. So I usually stay away from that relic, but when you have like this sort of spell-focused character that isn't going to play a lot of minions, I like to unban this relic, because it will just mainly debuff enemy minions and break off their engines. And then in exchange, I think I'm just gonna ban title bans. Start of game, draw until your hand is full. Don't draw at the start of your turns. Although, actually, if we thin out our deck, to the point where there could be a deck that works with this daily modifier, but it doesn't work with the specific card I'm planning to use. So I usually ban this relic if I have the space for it, just because I think it's very risky. Basically, if you're so you draw 4 cards at the start of battle usually, and then 1 more at the first turn, so this is basically plus 5 draw. So if your battles end before turn 6 or on turn 6, then this is a benefit, but after this you're just gonna run out of steam if you don't have any built-in draw into your deck. And then in terms of trinkets, I'm going to unban lifesteal, because I might want to put that on a spell card. Usually I don't like the +2 mana, but again, I have a specific plan in mind. So instead, I'm gonna ban +3 health. I often do that as well, just because I think that +2 health or barrier is enough in terms of sustainability trinkets, and then for the rare trinkets, those are the purple ones compared to the uncommon blue ones. I think there are better options like -2 mana or double stats. So under that, let's jump right in. see what map we're playing at. What I'm really looking for is an early shop. Okay, we are playing on the same map as yesterday. The like Sprout Elf map. Our boss is Greta, which is a sort of discard spell mix. We can sort of see that being represented in the relic, which gives buffs and flux on playing spells. So I think that should be fine. Our mini boss is gonna be a trap focused deck. That might present a bit of an issue if she starts playing counter spells. We've got 2 mana diffusers, so we should have some like cheap spells. We should add some cheap spells that can sort of diffuse the mana diffuser, so we can play our more desirable expensive spells. And yeah, what I'm really looking for is a certain shop card. We've actually used it yesterday. I'm gonna save all of my rerolls for that. And yeah, for our battle we got Moss Muncher and Bramblewhelp. Bramblewhelp is usually a very easy fight one, because for the first like 7 turns he's pretty much just playing 1 once. Okay, game being a little laggy today. Don't know what's up with that. But yeah, we got a couple of Himhouse Spirits. Let's see. So we're not actually going to be able to use the Himhouse Spirits until turn 4, when we can play Encore. I'm not sure if I can keep flawless victory here. But I am still gonna try, just because we don't have 1 cost minion. So yeah, if he's gonna do that, spread out his minions, then we sort of just don't have the chance to save our health. However, I don't know how much of a multiplier I'm gonna be able to build up with this modifier, so I think I'm not gonna worry about points that much today, unless I can get some lifesteal. Overkill would... Nah. Well, we're not gonna get overkill either, because even if we managed to build up the ultimate, we would have to scale our spells to plus 10 damage and bring the opponent down to 1 health. Because if we play a spell and kill the enemy, we will not have the opportunity to play another spell. So, yeah. But it looks like we're just gonna win the battle very soon. Yeah, we're gonna win it right here. And now it killed the richest rabbit. So we've got a neutral card pack. Draw when a friendly minion dies. Not that useful, we're not gonna play a lot of minions. Banner Knight, after you cast a spell, gain +1/+1. You might think that's pretty good with a deck like this. However, I think it's kind of hard to use the Banner Knight most of the time. Because you're gonna play mostly more expensive spells like Encore or that Concert Grace we saw earlier that costs 3, buffs your draconic damage by 1. So at most you're gonna play like 1 to 2 spells per turn. I mean, I guess it works with Encore actually, because you get 3 1-mana spells, so you could play this on turn 2 or 3, play Encore, and then get 3 buffs next turn. But there's also like the possibility of the enemy just removing your minion. That's one of the biggest downsides to most scaling minions like this. I much prefer this in like a poison deck, specifically Self Poison, because poison is a spell that costs 1 mana, so that's a very easy way to scale out. And Seafaring A will give you other minions +1/+1. Again, we're not playing a lot of minions, so not very strong. Looking at this and this, Chaos and Removal. Although, honestly, you could call both of these removal, because we got Hellfire, 2 draconic damage to all enemy minions, and 2 bomb rifts. I am kind of looking at adding more duplicates just to preserve our like win card that we're hopefully gonna add. And removal. Oh yeah, bomb rift, 4 damage 3 times to random minions. So either like delete 1 big minion, or if the enemy has like a couple of medium minions, you kill that. So that's a pretty good spell. I like this one. And removal, we have a silence effect, which removes buffs and like engine effects. Low Life Fisher, minion that deals damage and can generate card advantage. It's pretty nice for that card to have an epic tag. Like it's got a little purple diamond in the corner, because it can get some trinkets that you might not otherwise be able to attach to anything. That's so. Getting the points from adding trinkets is gonna be pretty hard in this run, because we're just not gonna have a lot of different cards. Demon Pact, steal a minion with 2 or less power. Seems weak at first glance. 3 mana to steal like most of the time a 2-mana minion. However, there are some very expensive cards that have a very low power, like just high health or some kind of important effect. So this can be very disruptive. It's honestly both of these pretty fine to me. Having a silence would be some nice help. I think I'm gonna pick Chaos just to have that bomb riff as a sort of buffer once we add the card we want to add. And then Mercenary. So we've got Lustrous Star Scale, another purple minion, mostly built around these ruby cards, trying to summon a lot of them and transform them into stronger versions of themselves. Kind of like this one mainly for the hero. It has lifesteal. The effect on Infinite Rift, so whenever you play a spell, summon a Dancing Dragon. A Dancing Dragon is a minion that scales based on the number of Dancing Dragons that died. We have cannons. I don't think that cannons are gonna do a lot of good for us. Cannons are a minion that trigger of playing pirate minions, so we want to combine these with other pirates, but the modifier is just gonna either remove the cannons or the pirates, and then we're not gonna have a synergy. And then we got Rootmaster Break. Also, pretty nice deck. So this is a 1/4 that triggers blood tokens, which is a card that gives plus 0 power plus 1 health, but it can give more stats if you scale it up. So that's a pretty nice win con. I've used this deck in a lot of roguelike mode runs. We could build around that. Like if we're gonna pick a single card and buff it up a bunch, this would be a decent one to choose. And yeah, we got some board clear potential, deal 1 fire damage to all other minions, but if you buff it with trinkets, it can be like 3 or 4 pirate damage. Brute Knight I don't like that much, but yeah, we are mostly looking at the heroes, at the cards that probably are not gonna be moved. But I think because of the lifesteal, I'm gonna choose Lustra Starscale. We do get a lot less money for her because she's considered very compatible with our hero res. You can see like pairing bonus difficulty 1 only gives plus 50, whereas this gives plus 100. But I'm not gonna need that much money over the course of this run. Like I just want to buy one card and then buff that particular card. So yeah, I'm not very worried about the hunt score. I think I'm just gonna pick lifesteal. See if we can make this one more powerful. I do not want to skip here because otherwise our deck is just gonna be empty after 2 fights. Oh, as for our relic, we see a res-related relic, a star scale-related relic, and a neutral relic. All 3 of those I like quite a bit. Serpent Sigil, turn start, reduce the cost of Serpent Songs in your hand by 1. So if you look at something like Encore, play 3, get 3 Serpent Songs that are gonna be discounted, and then if you play this on 4, you're probably not gonna play the Serpent Songs, and you will have them for the next turn, where they will be reduced to a cost of 0. Have a bunch of free spells. That's definitely a deck you can have. Also Starscale Ribbons, your normal groupies that you play will be Dancing Dragons instead. I think that's a very strong relic if you play around Lustra Starscale. However, we do have a lot of groupies, so our groupies are very likely to be targeted by the modifier today. So usually very strong, not for this run. I really like Brambled Cutlass. Your hero has Thorns too, so we can play all of our spells in peace and the enemy minions will just die off. It might be a bit hard to use the card that I want to use for this run. You might already guess which one it is, but I still think that this is our strongest option. And then we have no choice but to path here if we want to see the shop. Scorchling, still early, so most fights are easy anyway, but this one in particular shouldn't be much of an issue. And I think I am not gonna play anything actually. We are still not able. So I wanted to keep the 1 mana and minion to potentially block off. any minions that the enemy is gonna play, but we didn't draw another 1-mana card, so have to take damage. So I'm just gonna play a Hoopla, which is gonna summon rupees. Scorchings might get annoying actually because of the Scorch tiles. But yeah, because if we summon rupees, they're just gonna die. But again, it's an early fight, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. So, I think I'm just gonna keep playing Hooplas. Maybe play a Himhal Spirit, so we can scale up our iconic damage next turn. We are not getting Flawless, we are likely not getting Overkill either. We could get Flawless if we manage to get 2 lifesteal attacks off. 1 is not gonna be enough because the Hot Slime is gonna deal some more damage to us when it scales. When it dies, I mean. But, yeah. So, I'm gonna play this at the leftmost slot so that it's guaranteed to hit the enemy while they are still alive. Combat goes from left to right, and we want lifesteal to trigger. Okay, so looks like we're not gonna get 2 lifesteal triggers, because if we kill the minions, the enemy is gonna die. If we don't kill the minions, the Scale is gonna die, so either way, she's not getting off 2 attacks. We don't have any other lifesteal in deck, do we? Although, did we start on full health? Yeah, we did. Because we heal at the end of every fight, that we didn't lose that much HP in fight 1. Yeah. So, question is, should we end this fight now? Actually... No, this... Hold on a minute. We play the Encore. We are 1 mana short. If we had 1 more mana, we could play the Encore and then play 3 Serpent Songs to kill these 2 and our groupie, so that the Hot Slime won't die and damage us. But yeah, I think in that case, I'm just gonna end the fight now. And it killed our Hooplas. What do we got? Hot Slimes for some burn damage and another Mana Knight. We have some Superstar Shout, which I think is the name for this whole archetype, the Lustrous Starscale package. With another Himhal Spirit, a Shadow Violet. Summon a 1/1 copy of every minion in your opponent's hand. So... not sure that's very strong. If the opponent has a strong synergy in the hand, that could be strong, but otherwise it's not gonna synergize with your cards. And just gonna summon 2 or 3 1/1s. So Malefic Melody, add 2 Serpent Songs to your hand, so like Seven Song, but a bit more compact because you only have to draw one card to generate two cards. And then Frantic Phantom, that's like the groupie package. So we have summon groupies with Hothead, we have some draw and groupie summoning, and drawing cards and generating groupies. If we went for Lustra Star Scale, that would be an okay package to consider, but yeah. I'm not sure I really want to pick any of this, to be honest. Our Himhouse spirits are already dead. Malefic Melody is not gonna be very strong because of that. Because we're not gonna scale our separate songs, so not a fan of this package. Not a fan of this package. We could consider this. So in terms of removals, it's gonna go Rupees, then Hooplas, and then one of the duplicates, but we have 3 of those. So we're safe for duplicates for a while, so I'm just gonna leave. Okay, so we are in the shop, and what I want from this shop is Pyro Aces, which is a neutral card. We could buy a Gyric and still afford that. We saw that card yesterday. It's just a beefy chonker with some lifesteal. We could add Stellas instead. It also has lifesteal, and we can play it much earlier. I think I'm just gonna reroll. Wretch. Ooh, I like this card. Whenever you play it, you attach trinkets to minions. However, because we're gonna lose our cards over the course of the run, it's very well possible that this will buff a card that will just be gone after the fight ends. But usually that's a pretty good way to permanently scale your deck. We have Gyric again. Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy this because we only have one reroll left, and as it stands, although I could invest in this package as well. Just a question of how are we gonna kill the enemy if we don't get the card that I'm looking for. So okay, we did get it. It's Wild Aces. Deal 3 damage, plunder, shuffle this into your deck, and upgrade all copies. Since we are gonna have very few cards at the end of the run, we're very likely to draw those Spider Aces, which are just gonna kill 1 minion a turn, and then add another Wild Ace that can kill another minion, and eventually it will be so strong that it can just kill the hero outright. Honestly, like, even without trying to exploit it that much, like I did yesterday, it's a ridiculously strong card. I honestly think that it deserves a nerf. Just because it is so much damage for so little mana, and the reshuffle effect is so strong, and the fact that it can target the hero. Like, I think that just puts it over the edge. I think if it's D3 damage to a minion, maybe even restricted to enemy minions, so you can't use your own minions to scale it up, would be fine, but as it stands, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, 3 relics. Kind of sad to not get any of these, but we only had 150 gold, so we would not have been able to buy them, even if we did skip out on the dry week. Hexbreaker, start of game, add a Hexbreaker. No, the relic is called, which is Wardstone, but it adds a Hexbreaker. Silence and destroy all enemy minions. Good. Evolve a random minion. I've talked about that at the start of the video a little bit. Evolve a random enemy, evolve a random minion, and like mostly gonna be enemy minions, which will make them weaker. So if we picked the other faction and skipped out on Jari, we would have been able to take one of these, but yeah. Now we just have an empty node and we have a puzzles fight. So we're not playing with our deck, we have a certain assortment of cards and have to kill all enemies with the right combination of cards. So what do we got? We have +1/+1 for each damage your hero has taken this turn. I think that's gonna be the key to solving this fight, because this fills the role with Curse Wits and deals the much damage to the hero, so we can get 4 of these, take 4 damage, and then this is gonna be a 5. So, oh yeah. Deal a draconic damage to hero, gain +1 damage. So I think what we are meant to do is play 2 of these, play 1 of these, which will deal 4, 5, 7 damage, and it'll cost us 3 mana, and then we have 4 mana left to play 2 of these and kill the Bramblesaurs. So 7 with Hothead. And now we can pick up a relic. Usually I would take Doomhook. Thorn minions have lifesteal, but we're not gonna have a lot of Thorn minions or minions at all. Start of game, summon 2 Grimkin. Instead I'm gonna pick this. Add a Frosty Fizzroy to your hand if you don't have one. Freeze a minion, gain armor equal to its health. So this will do 2 things. If we keep freezing enemy minions, first of all, the Bramble Cutlass will be stronger. It will deal 4 instead of 2 damage. And second of all, it will give us a source of sustain before we are able to heal off our damage with lifesteal. So I actually really like this for today's deck. And it'll generate cards that cannot be removed by our modifier. Savage Call at start of game, summon 2 Grimkins. I think it's a very underwhelming relic, just because it is an Elder relic, one of those like powerful relics. You can see the little diamonds at the edge. Usually supposed to be a very like run-defining relic, but this is basically just 2 damage at the start of the game. Maybe like 2 death triggers, like if you're playing Focus, which is an effect that triggers whenever allied minions die. If you can buff it, it's a bit better. Like if you get an actual copy of Grimkin and give it +1 power, then it's 4 damage at the start of battle. Still, I think there are better Elder relics, even if you're going for like the Brawler type synergy. another card shop, but we don't have any money. Like, it's a bit of a bummer that we actually have 2 useless nodes, like 2 relic nodes that aren't gonna do anything. We will also get a campfire. How many fights are we gonna have? We have 1, 2, 3. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, and then the last one is gonna be the boss. 3 more fights. So in terms of removal, it's gonna be Hoopla Groupie and then a random a card that we have 2 of. So if we duplicate the Wild Aces, there is a risk that it's gonna be killed in this row. But hopefully, over the course of 3 fights, I can get another copy of like Bomb, Rift Star, Scale Dance, or Encore, and protect our Wild Aces. And even if we don't manage to find it, the likelihood that Wild Aces is gonna be the card that is killed is low. So I think we are fine to duplicate Wild Aces. Just duplicating that is very strong because it's twice as many opportunities to scale that card. So again, we can't use any of those relics. Not that they're very interesting for us. Most of these at least are after a trigger. Actually, oh no, never mind. After you trigger plunder effect, restore 2 health to your hero. I thought we don't have any plunder minions, but we do have the Wild Aces, which do have a plunder effect. So actually this would be extremely strong. Warhorn, expensive minions get barrier. Would be nice, but not that strong. After you play a spell, do 1 damage to the random enemy minion. That would be okay. Because we are playing a lot of spells. Although it might also kill targets for Wild Aces to scale. So instead, I'm just gonna jump into the boss fight. We are not that worried about the magic trap because we generate the magic diffuser because we generate a spell every turn. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for Wild Aces. I'm gonna keep a cheap card in hand. I'm gonna keep Sharik in hand. And yeah, we get our first Wild Ace. And I'm just gonna play it right away. Kill a minion and scale up our damage. We draw another Wild Ace immediately. I will check. Unfortunately, it's not a Plug Beam. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check for a mana diffuser. Get some armor as well. We do not see an armor diffuser, so we can play a Wild Ace if we don't find any other traps. We do not. So yeah, I think I'm gonna bank on getting my steal later on. Just kill our own minion and then kill all of the enemy minions with our thorns. So we see another trap being added. So I do want to check for Clucky Beam. We do have a Clucky Beam. So then we can play the Lustrous Star Scale for some lifesteal. Let's check for Plucky Beam again. Yes, we do get another Clocky Beam. Let's check for Mana Diffuser. Yep. So now there's only one Mana Diffuser. Which I think they have in hand, because I don't see it in the deck, and I remember there being two when I reviewed the fight. We're back at full health. I would like to see, yes, another Wild Ace. I'm gonna check for Mana Diffuser. And then I'm gonna play Wild Ace. All of our minions die. Let's block this lane. I'm actually okay with our minions dying, just so we have the chance to get overkill, potentially. Keep playing Wild Aces. If we manage to scale this up to 11 and then bring down the enemy to 1 HP somehow, we will be able to get the overkill. We have, yeah, we do have a couple of non-wild ace cards in the deck. Let's get our res. The Serpent Song being 1 damage is quite useful. Because it allows us to get to 1 health easier. I will not bother the Charm Bot. I'll just freeze my own res for some extra armor. Because, first of all, I don't want to damage it and potentially give this one another Magic Diffuser trap, and I also want to leave it alive for Wild Aces to kill. So now we have to get rid of our own res to not kill the enemy. And then the question is, do I keep these alive for more Wild Aces kills? I think I do. We have a lot of armor right now, and we will get more over the course of the battle. So, yeah. The Wild Ace is at 8. Get some more armor. 8 cards in hand is fine. Once we have 9, we need to worry, because then we generate a card and can no longer draw another card. Here. So how do we get the enemy to 4 damage? We have 1, 2, 7 songs. So that's actually not enough. We can get a third one with our ultimate. So yeah, we need to scale our wild aces to I can actually see what they're at, but I think they're at 9, and we need to get them to 12 probably. 8 cards in hand, so we're still okay on that front. Hold on a moment. Okay, I paused the recording just because I was writing a message. But yeah, we have Encore, so now we have more ways of getting the enemy to the amount of health that we want them to get to, which is great. We do have to free up our hand somehow. We need to get to 8. And now this is gonna die anyway, so we can use one of our serpent songs to kill that. Actually, the enemy's gonna start decking themselves very soon. So they're gonna go 1, 2, and then it's like next turn they still draw something, but then they're gonna go 1, 2. And once they go to 3, they die. However, I can actually use some of my serpent songs to give the enemy more traps. So I think I'm actually gonna do that. Okay, now all we have is wild aces in the deck, so we can start scaling that to hopefully a ridiculous degree. Those are recoil rockets, I think. Let's just check to be sure. Okay, yeah, we're good. And then I'm gonna kill my own minions so this doesn't die. Now we're at 8, we should be able to stay at 8. Because we can always play the Friswell and Wild Aces. And I do, yeah. The good thing is that when every time we kill a chime bot, we will give the enemy another trap. So we will be able to give the enemy more draw down, so they don't deck themselves. Recoil rockets means that our group here is going to die if we kill a chime bot, so for the extra kill I'm just gonna kill my own groupie. I'm gonna free up my hand a bit. The enemy takes 1, but that's okay. See, still has enough health left. So yeah. I actually didn't see what trap that was, but it doesn't really matter at that point. It's even if it's mana diffuser, it's okay. Okay, freeze frame. That's fine. I want to remove that one's barrier, so we can get another kill. Now the enemy has 2 more cards to draw, so we can kill our own Gyreek. Doesn't matter. We're just gonna kill it anyway. Right, now we are out of minions. This is a Gizmo Provisions. Would have been a... no, actually we still have other spells, so... Even if this was a Mana Diffuse, it wouldn't have mattered. And now we just... do this. We lose groupies. And that's a nice combo of trinkets. +1 power and double stats, so this is a full mana 8/2. Oh, instead I want to pick up Bomb Riff to guarantee the wild aces being available at the end. Question is, do we have one or 2 of those? If we pick 2, then it's guaranteed to be removed next turn. If we pick 1, then Hoopla might be removed instead. I think I would prefer Hoopla to be removed first. Just because the Bomb Riff does have some potential utility. So yeah, usually I would go for this. The +2 health on Himal Spirit is also pretty good. But this is a very special day. And then this gives us an extra fight. So does this actually. So I think what I want to do is I want to duplicate something at this campfire. something with 2 copies, like the Star Scale Dance. And then we have even more buffer for our wild aces. But let's see the trinket shop first. Food's overgrow and some extra mana reduction. So I like the +3 thorns on star scale to increase the life gain. You could actually even go for thorns and overgrow. Just have 2 of these lifesteal minions, but I think I'm going to put overgrow on the Shyreek instead. Fresh fortifications and more targets to kill for wild aces, which wouldn't work for Lustra Star Scale because she has barrier. And I guess I can make rest cheaper. So, fights is what we're currently looking at. If we go for every extra fight, it's 1, 2, 2 bomb ref dies. So if we duplicate the Star Scale Dance, which is our most useless card right now because we don't have any more groupies really, then we are guaranteed to protect the wild aces until the end of the daily. It's kind of interesting how we are adding cards for the purposes of removal. But yeah, let's just... Ooh, that should be a nice fight. Hot Slime's gonna be a little annoying, because we might not be able to lifesteal all of our health back, but otherwise we have a good amount of targets for our wild aces. And the enemy doesn't really scale that much or threaten us really, so we have 1 wild ace in hand. That's pretty good. Let's look for either lifesteal or our other wild ace. It's like this. Nothing to do on turn 1. Yeah. There's the hot slime. I guess we can try to get some armor. We do have Lustra Star Scale. For lifesteal. But he does have removal, so we're not guaranteed to actually get the lifesteal off, but I think it's early enough in the fight that it's worth trying. Okay, 2 hot slimes. So now we can get a little bit of armor. 32 damage is also very fun. It's nice that he has draws all of the hot slimes right away, because then we can just get our health back in one fell swoop and don't have to worry about losing it later. So let's play res for some armor. That's a lot of charge chunkers you got there. So let's get a lustrous star scale for the lifesteal. We will get all of our health back. Actually, no, we don't. Yeah, because that's sad. So we need to get our Gyric off, actually. Let's just clear the enemy board. Our wild aces are strong enough as is. Okay, now we should be able to get our health back. He shouldn't be able to get that many charge chunkers, so... Nine cards in hand, but it's okay because we already have the Frosty Fizzwell in our hand. And the enemy dies, but we do get the overkill, so it's all fine. Let's get our health, because why not? And just eke out a tiny bit of extra overkill. Get both multipliers. What? What? Hold on, what? That's... Oh, okay. I thought for a moment that the wild aces were being burned, but it was some card next to it, and then the burned particles appeared next to the wild aces, so it looked like they disappeared, but they didn't. Okay. I was really concerned for a moment. So yeah, I don't think there's any reason to pick up other cards. We actually might be interested in this for the lifesteal. Although our deck will be thin enough that we will get our Gyric and we'll get our lustrous star scale. So... but I think it's fine to pick it up for the extra multiplier. No, not the extra multiplier, I mean extra points. And yeah, we're just gonna attack the bandits. Okay, we have the Lustra. That's a very nice minion to farm some extra armor, because he has more health than he does have attack. And now I think I'll actually remove this. This adds poisons, which I'm not very fond of. It will die next turn. Do we wanna protect ourselves against free damage? Ooh, that's very nice. Those are just completely stationary targets that don't do anything. This one might be a bit of an issue. 8 cards in hand. So I think I'll block this. Because I don't want to eat 6 damage, even though we have a lot of armor now. That's not good, actually. Yeah. Because burns one of our aces. So... we wanna kill the poison roots to get rid of the poison. Okay, he kills it for us, I guess. Thank you. And now I just farm some extra armor. Not much happening now. We're just waiting for our wild ace to come back so that we can keep playing it. Kind of want to get rid of more cards in my hand so the enemy doesn't poison us, but I don't think he can add that much poison at this point. I think those 2 minions are gonna die this turn anyway, so it's fine if I get rid of some of those. And yeah, just play it to empty the hand. Okay, another Thornkeeper, that's good. We have 2 more cards in hand, so we should be able to keep redrawing Wild Aces very soon. And then once again, I'm just gonna get rid of a couple of cards. So, actually shouldn't have frozen that one because now it dies. but yeah. Now we're at the point where we get a wild ace every single turn. And because we have the power chord in hand, we should also be able to get the overkill. Like right now, we are at 25, 29. Yeah, that would put us over the threshold. Okay. He does have enough cards to not deck himself. So don't have to be worried about that. Ooh. Now this is kind of scary, or if it would be if we didn't have about more than 30 armor. So I will just remove a barrier for us. I do wonder whether I can finish the run in less than half an hour. Just so that I can see the leaderboards. Let's shoot this barrier down. Ooh, scary. Getting some evolves. Yeah, I think next turn... Actually, he has one more real card in the deck. The other ones are just, yeah, puff caps. Very soon we're gonna have enough damage on that thing to one-shot the boss. The boss has 35 health. Oh, our pyro is our wild ace is at 35. Because killing the boss does trigger the plunder. And yeah, if we draw this on the elite fight, we're just gonna immediately kill him and get the overkill. I think... Yeah, I think the last one gives us some extra fight. Off. So if we draw the wild aces, that's, yeah. Do we do that? Like, I would like to get some extra... Okay, we are kind of incentivized to keep going now. To heal back the poison. Oh no! Wild ace. Yeah, I'd really like to be able to get that. Let's just Dark Scale down. can get that lifesteal. Do want to play our wild aces here actually. Because otherwise we might not be able to see it again. So we're probably gonna have to wait for Jarek. Or not. Actually, we don't get any more poison. So, yeah. Screw your 8/8 flying minions. Just die. And we can pick a new Blitz Burst if we want. If we gain 8 armor, remove armor to give friendly minions extra stats. Or play 8 Serpent Songs and then banish them to target random enemies. I think that the armor one might be alright. I don't really care about our own ultimate anymore. And this could help us buff up a lifesteal minion to convert armor into health, basically. Yeah. And how hard do I want to go for trying to find wild ace? I think I'm gonna keep the driving. We'll have some rush minions. So we might lose a couple of HP. But that's alright. Oh, also we buffed the Jarek because we picked up the new Blitz Burst. I'm just noticing. And yeah. Now, I don't think we'll be able to scale the wild aces to the point where we one-shot would overkill the boss, so... Oh, actually, it didn't get buffed by the boss kill, I'm realizing, so we do need another kill. I guess. So... Get some armor. Give them some extra life. Give them some extra life again. And yeah. I might want to kill these, actually. This ring. Otherwise we might win without getting the overkill. So yeah, we do have some removal. Oh, he removes it for us. That's okay. Grimkims, but we don't care because we have armor. And now I'm just waiting for a wild ace to appear. I could also play Jarvik. Yeah, I think that's also fine. We have a couple of removal spells, so we should be able to get both of them to attack. And he doesn't have enough to remove one of them. Yeah, we do get the wild ace though. I'll just scale it up. Gain 10 armor. Convert armor into stats for extra overkill. There's no 3x speed. Yeah. 40 damage. That's quite a lot. I'm glad that I have picked up the Jarvik. So, a bunch more power cores. So, this was the last fight before the boss. More power chords. Could be okay. Helps us keep our health topped off and get some extra damage in so that the wild ace can overkill the enemy. Otherwise, if we went for groupies, this would have been a really nice card. Transform them into 3/1s and it costs 2 mana less than usual. But then we have 2 cards that summon for groupies. Like, this is a really good bundle. Free relic or buy some relics. I have some money to burn, so I guess I'll go to the militia shop. We can't fight anything, right? Yeah. So we can just buy all 3 just for extra points. I will buy the Doomhook and then immediately replace the Doomhook. Then +2 damage, I think I'll put that on the power chord. Make it 6 damage lifesteal instead. Double stats. Double stats Jarvik is pretty funny. But for the point bonus, we want to put it on something that doesn't have a trinket yet, so guess I'm gonna put Hothead on. We actually only have 1 minion that can get an extra. A first trinket. So I can actually do the double stats Jarvik. Probably not gonna be able to use it though. We could put it on Lustrous Daskia. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then give this Hothead. And this should be a fairly quick boss fight. So yeah, I'll just keep all of those. and wait until we have yeah, this. So now all we want to do is play those 2 power chords. And then play the wild ace, and the power chords should be able to out-heal any kind of damage that will be done to us within those 2 turns. That's power chord number 1. The Vital Edge also helps us kill the minion. I do need... I might need to wait for 6 so that I can... Oh, actually... 36. So the enemy is below 26. So yeah, that just gets us the overkill now already, because the damage... The enemy has damaged themselves a bit, so... Get a really nice X13. Gets us over 40k. Pretty nice daily run, showing off the power of wild aces. We only really had well, we had 2 fights where we kind of exploited the scaling, like deliberately delayed the end of the fight. But yeah, you can see just how ridiculous this card can be. Again, I think it would be fair if it was debuffed to like only target minions. Because even if you don't do what I did this run, this is just a grossly strong card. Like, I think it's worth buying every single time. Every deck can benefit from removal. Let's look at the leaderboard. And yeah, we did get 2nd place for that. Just 3,000 points behind 1st place. So yeah, I suppose we did take damage in the first fight, which I don't think was really avoidable, but then we took some more in the second one. So that might have cost us 1 multiplier. I think 1 more multiplier in the early game would have given us the ability to get to 44 or 45k. But I'm pretty content with this run. It's kind of a tough modifier, unless you specifically build around it like we did. So, yeah. See you next time.